Welcome to This Bitch with Sara Weinshenk and Congdon.
Whoa, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another
Are we starting?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? We're live from the Hive with another episode of This Bitch podcast. I'm Congdon.
And I'm Sara Weinshenk.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Buckle up. It's the beginning of the week.
It's the beginning of the week. It's Monday morning. You just woke up. You pulled the crusties out your eye.
Don't bring up the crusties.
Everybody has the crusties.
I don't talk about my crusties. Should we?
I don't think we need to get in depth about the crusties. They are what they are.
Do you know what I don't like?
What?
When I have eyeliner and then it touches a crusty.
It makes me feel like a dog. You know when dogs have like the weird colored eye boogers?
Ooh, like the white dogs with the rust in their eyes.
I'll tell you right now, if I see you and you're picking boogers out of your dog's eye, we're done. Don't touch me with your hand for the rest of the day. You're disgusting.
But I think that's better than leaving the crusty in there. There's people who've never wiped their dog's eyes.
As they should.
There's people who have never wiped their baby's noses. Have you seen this?
Well, that's actually nuts. If you're not wiping your baby's nose.
I have a friend who's like, well, I need to get consent from the baby. I'm like, the baby's a blob. It's 3 months. He's not going to give you consent.
Wait, hold on.
What?
She's waiting for consent for her baby to pull boogers out of its nose?
Yes.
I don't know who that friend is, but she's fucking whacked out of her mind. Whoever that is, if you're listening and you're a friend, Sarah has great friends. You're probably a nice, beautiful young lady. You're a fucking loony, dude.
They need consent.
No, your baby doesn't need consent to get boogers out. It's a baby. It can't talk. The whole reason you have to take care of it is because it can't consent to the world, and it's your job to consent for it.
Yeah, I know. And guess what? Most kids aren't going to like you picking boogers out of their noses.
And guess what? My baby's getting its ears pierced as a baby.
It is?
Maybe.
See, I think that's mean. Did you have your ears pierced as a baby?
Yeah, I didn't remember. I was fine. It was probably 2 seconds of pain that I never remembered again.
Dude, you're going to have a baby with diamonds?
Yeah, and a little Puerto Rican bracelet.
The bracelet I can get behind.
Yeah, you're going to not pierce their ears till what? They're 7 and they ask?
Yeah.
And then you have to drag them through Claire's while they're crying?
That's what I did.
Nightmare.
I begged my mom every day to get my ears pierced, and then we went to Claire's, and we sat down, and I was sobbing, and the lady inside, there's a random lady inside of Claire's that was like, I don't know why you're doing this to your child.
See?
My mom's like, she begged me for it.
See? She should have just done it when you were a baby.
I don't know. That's another thing you got to clean. You got to clean out the ear holes.
Yeah, that's
ear
true.
holes are weird.
And now that I'm thinking about it, it would be kind of sad to have a little baby and you see their little red ears from piercing it. It's just almost unnecessary.
It's unnecessary. Maybe your kid doesn't want their ears pierced.
Yeah.
Would you do it to your son? Pierce his one ear?
No, because he's not going to be gay.
Well, I guess that you
Southern mom. He ain't gonna be gay, so he's not getting one ear piercing. I just think men shouldn't have their ears pierced, gay or straight.
Really?
Yeah, just leave the piercings out of your ears.
I mean,
do the nose.
The nose? You think the nose is less gay than an ear?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's something really feminine about having jewelry in your ears.
Really?
Yeah.
My boyfriend has his ears pierced.
Just one or two?
I think just one. He has 2 holes in one ear.
That's sus.
He never wears earrings.
Is he watching this? That's sus.
Zach?
Okay, Zachary.
No, he never wears
Zachary
earrings.
Binks.
What I did, I had him put a hoop inside his ear. Is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, that's how bad stand-up comedy is right now.
What?
That was the funniest thing she's ever seen.
It was because he's so manly and he had just this hoop and he was holding a toy gun. It was great. I'll try to find it for this.
I think it was less funny to Sarah and more hot, to be honest.
No, it was funny.
Because remember, you used to be into gay guys.
Yeah, of course. I had a gay guy thing.
You had a gay guy phase.
It wasn't even really gay guys. It was just more like
in a dangerous way you were into gay guys.
Yeah, I know. My family has told me. Some of your boyfriends seemed gay. Gay.
Yeah. Not just gay. Gay.
If Debbie's saying it.
Speaking of boyfriends.
Yeah.
We went and hung out with our friend. We went to his ranch
Yeah.
And you walked in on my boyfriend shitting twice.
Twice.
Which seems like 2 more times than it should have happened.
Well, sorry, the door didn't lock.
Yeah. I mean, knock.
I didn't even
What a
think of it.
concept.
I didn't even think of it.
If a bathroom door is closed, I always knock. What kind of bathroom door is closed with no one in it?
I don't know. That's a good point.
Sarah was trying to see my man's bussy.
I wasn't trying to see your man's bussy, and I didn't get to see any of his bussy because it was all in the toilet. All I saw was the outline of his face, and I go, oh, sorry.
Walk me through what happened when
I tried to open the door. Okay, this is the other thing. You would think if someone was taking a shit, the door would be locked.
Yes,
it was open.
Yeah, but that door didn't lock, and you knew the second time it didn't lock.
I forgot that it didn't lock because I had to piss.
Who forgets?
How do you know I didn't have to take a shit? Maybe I had to take a shit and I couldn't.
But who forgets that it doesn't lock after they've walked? If I walk in on someone, I think about it for the rest of the day.
It was the next day. One was at night and one was in the morning.
No, I think they were both in the morning.
No, it wasn't both in the morning. One was at night and one was in the morning.
When Sarah saw your pussy, was it same day?
No, night and then the morning.
No, it wasn't. He didn't.
Yes, it was.
It was morning and then morning.
It was the morning and then it was
the night before.
An hour and a half later.
Yes, it was literally not night and morning. It was an hour later.
I had diarrhea from feeding me beer.
Yeah, I also had diarrhea and I didn't get to go. When you're about to diarrhea yourself, you're not like, oh, is my best friend's boyfriend's bussy exposed? You're like, I'm gonna shit my pants, dude. Put yourself in my position. I'm not a weirdo.
Okay, well,
I'm not trying to see your man's bussy. I got my own boyfriend with his own bussy. If I want to see bussy, I can see it all I want.
Yeah, I got all you can eat bussy at home.
Yeah.
Walk me through what happened when you saw his bus.
I didn't. I just saw him sitting there, and I saw the outline of him.
So you went in. You went in.
I went in and I go, ah!
Did he say anything?
He was like, oh, I don't know. He was just being Chuck on the toilet.
Wait, what did he? Who screamed first?
I think we both just said something.
That's how it happens. If you walk into the bathroom, you both just have to kind of mumble.
Yeah. And then I just closed the door.
And then were you like,
and
oh
then
my
I
God.
wasn't gonna bring it up again. But then I'm glad that Chuck did because they came into the kitchen. And he said she walked in on me again, and I was like, yeah, we gotta reset after that.
I heard the first walk in because the room was attached, so
Yeah.
I was laying down. And I knew he was shitting, and then I heard the door open, and I heard him go, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah, he has a very manly voice.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And then I heard you go like, ah. And then I just heard like a little pitter patter, like the sounds of a child coming downstairs for Christmas back into your room.
I went back
Like I heard a shameful pitter patter back to
Yeah,
your
it was
room.
a shameful pitter patter both times. And the second time, I was about to shit my pants too. So I was like, no, not again, and I'm gonna shit myself. Am I gonna go in upstairs in Nick's dad's bathroom?
Did you the first time when you went back to your room, were you like, oh my God, I can't believe I walked in him, or were you like, fuck it?
Well, there was a moment. Well, after it happened the second time, I was like, ugh. Well, one time, the second time hits different.
See my man's bussy once, shame on you. See my man's bussy twice, shame on me.
I didn't get to see any bussy. He was sitting on the toilet. It wasn't like his bussy was just out in the open, dude.
Wow. You killed 2 bussies with one stone. You really fucking did it.
Dude, yeah. How would you feel?
If I saw your man's bus?
Twice in one day. I didn't get to see
that?
I don't know. Well, back to the pod.
Sorry, I thought someone might be breaking into our apartment. Sorry, I paused for one moment. Sarah really can't come out of it for a moment. Well, back to the pod. We're technically recording right now. We should do the pod. We are professional comedians.
Well, back to
relax. The pod. Breathe. Taking the bussy.
Ew. Taking the bussy's disgusting.
Take a deep breath of bussy. Go.
No. Bussy's the most disgusting word.
I love it.
It's so gross. It's so visceral, and you've been throwing it around left and right
I
ever
love
since
bussy,
I walked
and I
in.
love naming things like different words for pussy.
Like what?
Like
I don't like code names.
Like a trans person calling it a tussie.
That's funny.
You fuck them in their tussie?
Ugh. When you say that, I mean, But I feel like trans pussies are probably nicer than our pussies because they're like
They're made.
crafted
They're crafted. Yeah.
to perfection.
Yeah.
The lips are even. Everything's just tight and right.
Not the Titan right. You have to order from a menu.
Yeah.
I'll take the number 3, the Titan right.
I'll
Can I get a double on that extra
Can I make
meat?
that a little more pink. Yeah.
I'll take mine rare. if
Yeah.
you're good. I don't like my well done tussie.
Oh my God. What is that noise?
What is that? Oh no! Like get back into the pod. No, focus.
Well,
There's an alien invasion. Focus.
I can't.
Focus. What is that?
That's crazy.
It's crazy that this would happen 10 minutes into recording.
Of course it would.
They're like pressure washing the building suddenly.
Weird.
They are?
Sick.
That is kind of sick.
At least you know that they're clean.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I don't know if I walked in on your man's bussy. Dude, I dated a guy once.
I'd file a lawsuit if you walked in on my man's pussy. You sue me.
Not me having
You sue me for walking in on Chuck's pussy.
Dude, I have to serve you
I get served at the mothership tonight.
for seeing Chuck's bus.
I guess I'll see you in court.
Dude, I dated a guy one time. I swear to God, this is a true story. That had the nerve to go into a Starbucks. Say he had to use the bathroom. And I'm drinking my coffee at the table. You're going to know who this is.
I already know who this is.
And I'm drinking my coffee at the table and I'm going, God, it's been 15, 20, 25 minutes. He's been in. I'm like, he must not be feeling good. I'm seeing the line for the bathroom. 1 person, 2 person. Eventually, there's like 9 people waiting for the bathroom. This motherfucker comes out of the bathroom, laptop open in hand.
That's bold.
Isn't that
I watched.
actually like the most psychotic behavior you've ever seen? To be taking your time taking a shit in the Starbucks so much so that you're working?
You're sending emails
You're
from the shitter.
From the Starbucks shitter.
Dude, the Starbucks shitter is also foul. I don't know what happened. You remember when Starbucks first came out in the 90s and everyone was like, oh, yeah, this is great. We can get a macchiato when like fancy people went there?
Yeah.
Now it's disgusting. It's like a third world country. There's like homeless people encampments inside the actual Starbucks.
Starbucks used to be literally, it was the name. It was like money that stars spent. Starbucks.
Yeah.
It was like a celebrity coffee shop. Like you only went to Starbucks if you were elite. Now you go to Starbucks if you need a place to sleep for the night.
No,
Like
it's horrible.
It's right up there with 7-Elevens in the U.S. It's the 7-Elevens and the Starbucks. They've been taken over. They've been taken over by encampments. They're out of control. I swear to God, my old 7-Eleven in my old neighborhood, a man got hacked to death
What do you
with
mean?
an axe.
What?
In West Hollywood. You know that on Sunset, that 7-Eleven on the left when you're getting close to the Comedy Store?
Yeah, I do know that.
A man
one.
got hacked with a hatchet to death there.
I didn't even know people were cruising around LA with hatchets. It's
Oh.
manly as fuck.
Yeah.
Is that guy single? No, I'm just
Right?
a hatchet man.
I have a joke about that the homeless men are more manly than
Yeah.
the real men there. Like, they are, though.
It's true.
They are.
Dude, the homeless people, I mean, the homeless people in Austin are a special kind of homeless, too.
They're zombies.
They're on another level, dude.
They
the guy
are-
who pops out of the suitcase. Have we
The guy
talked
who
about him?
pops out of the suitcase is nuts. There is a guy on 6th Street that goes into a suitcase and comes out of a suitcase. Like,
I
literally.
don't know where he got the suitcase.
First, the suitcase is sketchy looking. It looks like a suitcase that a terrorist would leave
a bomb in.
a bomb in. So you're just walking down 6th Street and you just see this old brown leather suitcase zipped up and you kind of already feel fear, which is like the beginning of the whole process of his entertainment. And you're looking and you're going, what's this suitcase doing in the middle of a busy street? And you look and suddenly it starts moving. And your second thought is, oh my God, is there an animal in there? Like, did someone put an animal?
Oh, there's an animal in there, sweetie.
And then
There's a
it
feral
unzips
animal.
and this dude. I mean, doesn't he not like
He does do it like that.
unfolds like
He was like a contortionist or
yeah.
something.
He unfolds himself out of it and does a back bend over out of the suitcase and then crawls on the ground and it's like
It's like the
scary.
ring.
It's like when the girl crawls out of the TV in the ring.
Yeah.
And then he's like, comes out and he's like, can I have $1? I'm like, no, you scared me. Like, no.
You're gonna have to do more for $1, dude.
Don't scare me so much.
Just have a sign. Be a regular homeless person. Have a sign.
Just ask for $1, dog. I don't know. The suitcase bit is freaking me out. Have you seen that lady that murdered her boyfriend in the suitcase?
What?
Oh, it actually has your name in it.
What?
Hold on, I'll show you the video. We'll send it to Xavier.
Sarah?
Yeah.
It has the name Sarah in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your name, dude.
Well, I don't know. Weinshenk? Shanks?
Why would it have Weinshenk in it?
I don't know. Don't get mad.
It's just dumb.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't smart. Let's move on, bitch.
Hold
Oh,
on.
you want to spotlight how dumb I was? Here,
What does it have? Princess Shank on it? It's like the most no one would ever say it. What do you think people are saying? Sarah or Princess Shank randomly?
Does it say
Yeah.
Sarah and Weinshenk?
Yeah. Does it say my father's name too?
Well, Sarah's a pretty popular name, dude.
Yeah, that's why.
This is why I bookmark things. See? You were giving me a hard time about bookmarking things. Now you can't find it.
Killed her boyfriend because they were playing hide and go seek, and she told him to hide in the luggage, and then he got stuck, and she filmed him stuck in there and left him overnight, and he died.
What kind of
Sarah.
She's laughing. Sarah Boone.
See you if you were born somewhere else.
Poor Jorge. He's locked in the suitcase, dude.
Where's the? There's like.
For everything you've done to me.
Whoa.
You.
Whoa. She's laughing.
You.
What did he do to her?
Stupid. That's my name. Don't wear it up.
No.
I can't breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do and you choke me.
Sarah,
Whoa. He choked her?
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
And he died. Sarah.
I do not like that.
What if you heard that when you walked by that 6th Street suitcase? Sarah.
I'd
Sarah,
just keep
babe.
walking.
Sarah, babe, I can't breathe, babe.
Dude,
Isn't that gnarly?
that's a special kind of fucked up. But
Yeah.
what was he doing to her? She's like, yeah, that's how I feel when you choke me.
No, they probably were beating each other up. Like,
What grown couple plays hide and seek?
right. Okay.
I mean, that's already the first red flag.
First red flag is your
You're
wife is
40.
drunk and she goes, hey,
Let's play.
have a game. Let's play hide and seek. You get in the suitcase. I'm not getting in no suitcase for no. I actually got in a suitcase one time.
And
I traveled in a suitcase one time.
what?
Yeah. So when I first moved to LA when I was 22.
Wait. This is a big reveal. What do you
This
mean?
story is nuts.
You traveled in a suitcase like you went like a checked bag?
No. I had to sneak out of somewhere and I was rolled out in a suitcase.
Okay, backstory, go.
Okay. So when I first moved to LA, I moved with this girl that I was going to school with. We're not friends anymore. Do you remember that girl?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I moved with her and we were trying to find a place to live. But in the meantime, she had a friend who was like, hey, I have a studio. If it's just you, you could stay there. It's really cheap. He's like, but it can't be more than one person because the landlords are really strict. And she was like, let's just lie and say it's going to be just me. This is when we were really young, before we knew like anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, sounds good. So, dude, it was miserable. So at first, I was just coming in. I was like kind of avoiding going in and out during time. And the landlords were on site. They lived in the building. It was like a rectangle building where it's like, you know, the center and then it looked like motel style.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And the landlords were old Asians that, like, you know, old Asians, they sweep outside every day. They were always outside clipping the things, sweeping the shit, mopping the floors, like always out there. So I would try and avoid coming in and out when they were there. I'd try to come in early or really late. And probably about after a week, I was like, fuck this. I'm coming in whenever I come in. And they noticed that I was going in all the time. And then so they called the guy and they're like, she has 2 people living there. It should only be 1. And he called her. He was like, hey, do you have 2 people living there? She's like, no, I have had a friend come by a few times, but
No.
yeah. And he's like, oh, because they're really upset about it. And then one day when I come in, they're like, you can't be here. And I was like, I'm her girlfriend. I'm just visiting. Then they didn't like that. Because old Asian people don't play that gay shit. Yeah. I should have not said that. But then Alyssa was like, it's just a girl I'm dating that's coming by. And he's like, you can't have visitors. Like, and then we were like, what do we do? Because this is like where we're living now. Like all our shit was there. And so it was one day when I came in and the landlord texted the guy and said, hey, and this guy, by the way, was in like Europe or something, having a good time. He kept getting calls from the landlord every day. Like, what a nightmare for him. And then so he's like, hey, they said they saw that girl, whoever that girl is, go in the apartment again. She told me if she sees that person coming in or out of the apartment one more time, I'm kicked out. He's like, please, dude, I cannot get kicked out of this apartment. So now we're in the apartment and we're like, fuck, what do we do? Because we at least need to leave before we get this guy kicked out.
Yeah.
And I quite literally
went into a suitcase.
Yeah. She zipped me. She was like, we need to get you at least downstairs until we figure out where to go next, but we can't get this guy kicked out. And I was like, all right, they can't see me. And yeah, we zipped
a rolling
me.
one?
Yeah, we had to go down the stairs. And
no.
yeah,
that's probably what causes your sciatica. Bitch, you being in a suitcase at 22 years old being dragged down the stairs.
Dude, the suitcase, when they finally got me zipped into it, it looked like a suitcase with a body in it. It was very clearly they were rolling that girl they just saw.
No.
Like, we thought we were getting away with something, but looking back, I'm like, it looked like I was just in the suitcase rolling. My hairs were sticking out of the zipper, out of the top. It was like so jarring. And dude, she was bringing me down the stairs and I could feel with every clunk, I could feel her shaking. Like literally, like, you know when you can feel someone trying to save your life? It was seconds away from rolling down the stairs. She got me down that bitch, rolled me out, and I unzipped and got in the car and left. And then we found a new place.
That's crazy. Why does landlords care?
Why do you care?
If I'm paying my rent, why do you care what's happening in
here?
If
I have 25 people in my studio, why do you give a fuck?
I'm paying my rent.
I'm paying my rent. I pay for this space. You shouldn't be allowed to tell me how many people I'm allowed in the space. What if I want a 25-person orgy? I can't do that. I pay rent.
I guess you can't.
No,
not if you have Asian landlords.
No, you can't do shit if you have an Asian landlord. I'll tell you that much.
Where's the worst place you ever lived? Well, I think I know. In Harlem.
Yeah.
When I visited you,
that was a dark time.
That
in my
was
life.
so
that was probably
dark.
The darkest time of my life.
And it was like winter. I feel like it was winter, and it was you moved there, you needed a place to live, like
it was
suddenly
post-traumatic breakup. I was traumatized from this breakup. I got cheated on. I was living with this dude. We broke up. I was like, I'm moving out. I can't live here. And he was like, you can stay here and live here a little longer until you figure it out. I was like, I'm gone. Like, I don't want to see you anymore. I got the first place I could find. And I was like, kind of like, for a second, I was like, okay, it'll be okay. Like, it was in New York City, midwinter, 6-floor walk up, which I don't even think is legal. I think after 5 floors, you're supposed to have an elevator or some shit. Like a 6-floor walk up. So every day I was walking in my huge winter coat up these stairs with 2 other roommates who like were they were nice, but they were like, the depression from the place had eaten them alive. Like they were very depressed.
No, it was bad.
And when I went to go look at it, I was like, okay, I kind of took it on a whim. Like I was just like, I just need to get out of the place I'm in. And I was like, I'll take it. It was super cheap. I should have known when it was really cheap. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And the room was windowless.
It was a cell, dude.
It was a windowless room. And
the toilet was like overflowing or something. Remember?
There was a toilet in the bathroom. The bathroom had a small window, so the air conditioner had to be in the bathroom pointing towards my face from the bathroom. And then the toilet had a slow leak, so the septic would come from the bottom and kind of puddle around the floors. And at night when you went to go pee, you'd step in it.
Oh my God.
And
it
there
was so bad.
So many roaches.
So many roaches. It was like a roach infested cell.
It was the most depressing place I've ever lived in my life.
No, it's literally the most depressing place I've ever seen. And I've had friends in LA who had to sleep on floors and they didn't have money. But this is another level.
I
it's
slept
like
on
New
a
York
living room floor for 2 years in LA, and
Yeah.
it was a paradise
compared to this.
This place was dark, and then I remember the roommates would be like, "Don't leave any food out; the roaches will come out." And I'm like, "Okay." And I also had a cat, which I'm allergic to. So if I wasn't in the little room and I was hanging out in the living room, the cat would come and rub itself on my legs the whole time. So then my legs were itchy. There was bugs crawling on me. There was no window, no sunlight. Middle of winter, post breakup. Toilet leaking, not good and the air conditioning, it only blew one thing and it was right in your face, so it would just freeze your face at night. It fucking sucked.
That was honestly, sometimes I think
Did
about
you stay there with me?
Yeah,
at all?
I stayed
You
there.
slept there?
We shared a bed there.
It was bad.
It was so bad. And I think I stayed there for like a few days.
That was probably the happiest few days of being there because
It was bad.
it was so bad. And my cousin came to visit and she was like, "Yeah, you can come live with me for a little bit." Like she took me in like a shelter pet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was rough. And then I had signed like a lease for like 3 months there, and like I couldn't even make it a month. Like
I remember
2 or 3
that.
weeks in, I called the guy and I'm like, "Hey," and he just stopped me. He goes, "I know what you're gonna say. Don't worry about it." He's like, "You could just pay me what you owe me." He's like, "It's not a great room." I'm like, "Okay, thank you."
He's like a slumlord.
Yeah, and the floors would sink. Like they felt like they were like the wood in them was wet. So if you stepped on one spot, it'd go in. And I'm like, did someone die here and it's soaked in?
No, like the toilet would leak and it was
like where you put someone to live to punish them.
Yeah, it was like
I was like-
hole, dude.
I was like, my ex should live here and I should live in the apartment. What are we talking about?
that was literally the worst apartment I've ever been in.
Yeah, that was rough.
That's probably the worst place you've ever lived, right?
Yeah, that was my rock bottom.
What
That was
about-
the worst place I've ever lived.
What about worst roommate? I think one time I was the worst roommate.
I've probably been the worst roommate.
I used to take my childhood friend's stuff all the time. I'd wear all of her clothes, and I wouldn't even ask. I just did it.
No.
'Cause we were friends since I was 14. Yeah, I lived with her for a while. Megan.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. The worst roommate is probably the suitcase one because we had that huge falling out. Remember,
Oh, yeah.
dude? That was fucking crazy. Should I tell that story?
Yeah. Did you punch her?
No, she punched me. She punched me. Well, I had a plate of food in my hand. Okay, I'll tell the whole story.
Okay.
So me and this girl, we were friends all through college, and she was really cool. Like when we were in college, she was really cool. We were roommates in college, really good friends. And then a couple years into college, we got condos like that were like connected
Okay.
condominiums, and we did that. So then when I was like, I'm going to LA, she was like, I'll go with you. I want to go to LA for the summer. I'm like, cool. So we packed up all our shit. We were so excited. We're like, we're going to Hollywood. It's I found a GoPro of myself when I was 21, being like, on our way to Hollywood to live our dreams in the car, and like we're going to the big city. Like, yes. Like my voice was so squeaky and tiny, and I was like, we're on the 101, or that we're on the 10.
That's so
We're
crazy.
taking the 10 across America. So we drove all the way across America. And that's when we were looking for, that studio was the first place we landed. Then we got kicked out of the studio. Then we moved into a place in Burbank, and we got kicked out of that place. We got kicked out of our second place for smoking weed in it. Cause again, we got a landlord that lived on the property and we were living in the guest house. And this bitch used her key to come inside while we were smoking.
That's fucking.
Yeah, and she was
you're
like,
not allowed to do that.
She was lying. She was like, I thought it was a fire. And we're like, we know you don't think there's a fire. You just came inside. And then she got mad because it was a big place. So we had a third roommate, this kid named Adrian from Australia that was just random from Craigslist, and then Jerron Horton. So all four of us were living in a 1-bedroom, and Adrian and Jerron were in an air mattress in the couch downstairs. And it was a 2-bedroom, and me and Alyssa were in the bedrooms upstairs. So when she came in, they were there, and she's like, you're not allowed to have boys over. And I was like, you're not my mom.
Yeah.
Like straight up, you're not my mother. My mom lets me have boys over. Like I'm 21. I can have boys over or whatever. And then I got into a huge argument with that landlord. She kicked us out. She didn't want, she said no boys. And I'm like, you can't do that. And she's like, I can. It's my house. And I'm like, I don't leave. And then we brought in the attorneys on that one.
You did?
Oh yeah. I wrote up a fake letter like I was a lawyer. I researched, I took a bunch of Adderall, I researched for days, and I wrote something up and I sent it to her dad, who actually worked in law, and he was like, this is pretty good. I'm a good writer. I'm an idiot, but I'm a good writer. I can fake some shit. So we sent it to her, and then she was like, kind of let us stay there for a couple more weeks, and then after a while, I was like, fuck this, let's leave. Like, let's find another place to live. So we moved into another place. So then we find the 710 apartment next to Shoe Palace on Melrose.
Oh yeah. That's when we started really hanging.
Life started at that apartment for me. Like my LA life started there. It was the dopest apartment. And it was me and her living there, and yeah. Oh, okay. So then I started dating that guy Alex. Remember him? It was this douchebag comedian, and he was a model, and he was like a narcissist and obsessed with himself. But I was.
And he painted his nails.
He painted his nails. He was my gayest boyfriend.
He was definitely your gayest boyfriend for sure.
Yeah, and I was obsessed with him because he didn't want me, like, at all. He was like, could have done without me.
He looked like a poor man's Lenny Kravitz.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And I was like obsessed with him. And this is a point where like I'm in LA for 3 or 4 months at this point, maybe 3 months. And I've been hanging out with him for a month. And this is the point where he's kind of like treating me like a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you're young and you want to be with a guy and he kind of treats you like shit. So any little thing he does, you're like, this is it.
He texted me. He asked me how my day was.
He said, good morning. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they give you the bare minimum and you eat it up. So I'm hanging out with him. We're getting apartment set up. She's like, hey, they're going to come set up the internet in the morning. I'm like, great, cool. At this point, this apartment was like way bigger than all the other apartments. And when we were moving in, I was like, I can't move in there with you. Like, I can't afford the security deposit there and first month's rent. So her dad was like, I'll cover the security deposit for you guys until you guys figure it out.
Okay.
And just pay me back, whatever. And we're like, okay, we'll do that. So then I have this boyfriend. She starts feeling like weird because I'm hanging out with this. It's like just us in Hollywood, and now I have a boyfriend.
She's jealous.
She's jealous. She's very clearly upset that I'm dating someone and she's not. And I kind of feel the tension, but I'm like, whatever. That happens with friends. Like, people get weird when you get a boyfriend. I don't know. I thought it was normal. And then
that's weird.
That is weird. So then
she wanted your pussy.
Yeah. So then he spends the night. I'm sleeping. I get a knock on my door. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, and it's her. And I open the door and I'm like, hey. And she was like, hey. She's got an attitude. She's like, hey, the internet people are here. I go, oh, okay. What do you need? Do you need like a check? Do they need money right now or something? Do you need me to split something with you? She's like, no, they're just going to set up the router, but they're doing it in my room. She like asked them to do it in her room. Okay. And I'm like,
instead of the living room?
Yeah, instead of the living room, which I thought was weird. Like, why wouldn't you want the router in a common place? But she was like, it was like as soon as her dad paid the security deposit, it became her apartment.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it was like this vibe that it was like, I just have to do whatever because I owe your dad $2,000.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's fine. Let me know if you need anything. And I went back to sleep. That's what started the whole fight. Because apparently what she was upset about was that I left her alone with men in her bedroom. And I'm like, you should have had them set up in the living room and then gone into your bedroom. Like, she was like, you left me alone with men and that was dangerous. So then she starts giving me the silent treatment. From that day on, she kind of doesn't talk to me for a few days. And I'm like with my boyfriend, like, I don't really care because I have this guy and I'm like having so much fun. And I'm like, cool. And we're having a great time. And she starts getting like, mind you, we've been living together for like 4 years at this point. We know each other's habits. We've lived each other fine. I come home one day and every dish from the sink is placed onto my bed.
No.
With the dirty dishes. And by the way, we were both like kind of like, we were 20. So we would leave dishes in the sink. Like, we were both like that. It wasn't like a one-way thing. And I said, please clean up after yourself.
No.
From the dishes because we made a dinner the night before, me and him. All on my sheets and shit. So you know me.
Be so fucking
So
pissed.
she's home in her room and I come and see this and it's on my sheets and I'm fucking livid. And it's like a bunch of glassware and shit that she bought and brought. And I take everything into the sheet and I fucking toss it into the living room. It all comes crashing, glass breaks everywhere, and I just leave it. And that's the beginning of like this huge thing. So then I toss it in the living room. It stays there. We're both not talking to each other and silently walking over these dirty dishes for days.
This is
and I'm like, I'm not fucking picking that shit up. Fuck her. She should have just asked me to wash it. She never asked me once. It's not like she was like, hey, can we start keeping it clean? You know what I mean? Like, it would have been different. She was like, this is a new place. Let's try and have new habits, whatever. So I was like, fuck her. I'm not cleaning up. If she asked me to, I will, but I'm not going to do this weird passive aggressive thing. I'm aggressive. So I threw all the shit. So we're tiptoeing past the thing. I come home one day, it's cleaned up. I'm like, weird. And then I go in the kitchen and everything that her parents were like rich. She was a spoiled little bitch. Okay. And so her parents sent her like all new kitchenware and glasses for her new apartment. And she had packed everything into her room. She took everything out of the kitchen and put it in the room. And I was like, fair. If you don't want me using your stuff, keep it in your room.
That's fucking crazy. I can't use a plate.
So I go out to Target. I buy a bunch of paper dishes. Yeah. I do the whole thing and I'm fine. Yeah. My boyfriend's over. I remember this is a big night. We were making tuna bowls.
Okay.
We're making tuna bowls. I'm so excited. I spend my extra money getting tuna for him. I surprise him. I'm like, we're going to do date night at the house. We'll make tuna bowls together. Tuna's expensive when you're 22.
Tuna's expensive now, bitch.
And I'm like, we're going to do tuna bowls, blah, blah, blah. And then we're making tuna bowls. I go out. She comes out and she goes, my dad says you need to start, since you can't take care of our stuff, you need to start paying payments on the security deposit today. And I go, oh, that's fine. Like, I'll go write a check right now for like a portion of it or whatever. And then I go to write a check in my room. And when I come back, that guy, Alex, is like, he kind of looks like something just happened. And I go, what? And he's like, she just took our food and threw it in the trash. And she took our tuna out of the she took our tuna bowls out of the microwave and threw them in the trash. And she was like, well, it's my microwave. And she threw our dinner away. And she was like, because you can't be having your stuff in my microwave. By the way, this is all because I didn't wake up for the Wi-Fi.
This is mental illness.
So then I take the microwave because I'm pissed.
You throw the microwave?
I throw the microwave. And I go, if it's your fucking microwave, put it in your room. And I toss it into the kitchen and I kick it. I break it. I break the microwave.
Yeah, because you just threw away my dinner, bitch.
Oh, and I'm pissed. And I went all out and we had spent an hour like preparing it. We had wine. It was like she was jealous, dude.
Yeah.
And so
she wanted to be.
So then
having tuna with you.
We order delivery. We order food delivery. We go in the room. We're smoking weed. He's like, she's crazy. Blah, blah, blah. Suddenly, we're smoking weed. Police.
No.
Yes.
She called the cops on you?
Yes.
She Karen'd your ass?
What?
She Karen'd you?
Yeah, she Karen'd me. So she's like, so I open my bedroom door. I like crack it open and they're like, hi, can we talk to you for a minute? And I'm go, yeah, but do I have to leave my room? They're like, not necessarily. Can we just talk to you right here? I'm like, yeah, because I'm like kind of in like a tank top and like little shorts. I'm like, I'm not dressed. Like, can I just talk to you from here? He's like, there's a dispute. Your roommate called. And I go, and I told them the whole story.
Yeah.
And I did. And I was like, yeah, after she threw my food away, I did throw her mic. We both took something away from each other. And he goes, okay, well, the only advice I'd give you is you should replace her microwave or she could take you to small claims court. And she's standing behind them and she's going like, and I go, oh, okay, so I'm not arrested, right? And they go, no, you're not arrested. And I go, okay, have a great night, officer. And as I'm closing the door, I look at her and I go, and I close the door.
Yeah.
I give her a little fuck you between the thing.
Yeah.
And she was so pissed they didn't arrest me. So pissed. She wanted me to be locked up for that microwave. By the way, this is a friend of 5 years.
Craziest shit. You've pissed me off so many times, and I've never thought about calling the cops on your ass.
Yeah, dude.
That's not something you do.
No, it was insane behavior. By the way, this is the same girl who dated a guy from high school through college and then leaked his asshole picture on Facebook, made a Facebook with his asshole and leaked it to all his friends and family. She's crazy.
What was she doing with his bussy on her phone?
She had pictures of his bussy because she made him spread it because she knew he was going to use it against him later. She's crazy. So... yeah, and she like embarrassed him to his football team and put his bussy on the anyways. She Freddie Gibbsed him. She's Freddie Gibbsed him.
She's Freddie Gibbsed him.
And okay, so then that happens. The cops leave. I'm like, fuck it. So then I go the next day. I buy her a little microwave and I leave it with a little note and it says, please keep in your room if I can't use. Please don't keep it a common area if it's not common.
Yeah.
And I put it in her thing and she puts it in her room, right? So now she's going every day. She's cooking in her room. It's a nightmare for her. She's making her own life miserable. So then...
who wants a microwave where they sleep?
I get my own shit. I get my own microwave just to fucking... I get my own. I buy two. I'm like, fuck, I'm spending money now.
Yeah.
So now I'm cooking a dinner. I remember this is the last day we ever saw each other. This is the craziest story. Okay, so then this is on Melrose where all the big windows are, all the shopping.
No, I
remember Tomato Pie? There was that store next to Tomato
I know
Pie.
exactly where we're talking about.
Okay, so
yeah.
then I make this incredible, this was lunch because it was during the day. I make this incredible like rice and bean with chicken lunch, and I'm like feeling so good. I'm having a great day. By the way, I'm not being mean to her at all. I'm just, anytime she does something, I match the energy and
Right.
that's it. And I'm
Right.
like, and then in between spots, I'm like, excuse me, like, you know, being like normal. She comes up, she's like, Kim, we need to talk. I'm like, okay. I'm like, finally, dude, finally,
Yeah,
we can be cool again
yeah,
because this
yeah.
has gotten so crazy. And she's called the cops on me at this point, throwing my shit away. And I'm still like, finally, we can be over this. I go, okay, yeah, let's talk. And she goes, we can't talk here because I think you're dangerous. We need to do it in public. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to hit you or anything, but we can talk outside if you want. So I bring my plate thinking we're just going to go out the door. And she goes, no, we need to go across the street. So now I have this huge plate of food. I'm like eating it while we're walking. And it's like a ceramic plate. And we're eating it while we're walking. And we go to like in front of one of the stores. And she goes, so, yeah, I've been talking to my dad, and I think the only way to resolve this, you could tell she was like reading a script her daddy wrote for her.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I think the only way to resolve this is either you move out or we both move out. Those are the two options. And I go, like, pause for a second. I go, if you don't have a problem with both of us moving out, why don't you just leave?
Yeah.
Like, if one of the options is both of us, why don't you go?
Yeah.
And she's like, that's not an option, so you need to choose. And I'm like, I literally at that point, I go, I don't want to talk to you. You're being ridiculous. You're being mean. I don't want to talk to you. So I go to turn, and she punches me in the face out of nowhere. She fucking goes, no, and she punches me in the face. And I instinctively turn like this with my plate of food, and I go to chuck my plate at her.
Yeah.
Like a Frisbee.
Yeah.
Plate full of food, and I chuck it, and she ducks, and it breaks the store window behind us.
I know.
You remember
that
this?
because all I remember is Kim broke a store window.
Yeah, and it breaks the store window, and I'm like, fuck. I just run. I don't even know what to do. I run. Her dumbass stays there.
Who stays there?
So she stays, and they have all her information. But I run, and I call 911, and I go, I just got assaulted by my roommate, blah, blah, blah. Like, so I'm like, because I'm like, she hit me first, dude. She fucking started this shit. I'm not going to get blamed for this just because she has more money than me. And then I'm like, I just got assaulted by my roommate. I go back to the storefront. Now she has already sold out where we live, who we are to the store people, because she's just a dumb fat bitch. And she is.
She was
just
a dumb fat bitch.
She was a dumb fat bitch, and she still is. And then she's only gotten dumber and fatter, I guarantee it. And then she fucking... And then she gives them all the information. And the store people, I'm like crying. I tell them the whole story. The store owner, she's so sweet. She's like, listen, like, I'm not going to call the police on you. I know shit happens. You obviously are very stressed over this situation. She's like, let me get your guys' information. She's like, we'll figure out how you can pay us back.
Layaway on the window.
Layaway on the window. They never called me. Their insurance just covered it. She told me that. She's like, their insurance covered it. It's fine. But after that day, I came home and all her shit was gone. And then my landlord, who was this gay guy at the time, he calls me. He's like, hey, your roommate just called. Obviously, you guys are having problems, so we're going to need to figure out another roommate for you. And he's like, and we need to do it this week. And I'm like, okay. So she moves out. I never see her again. That's the last time.
Was
it was
it?
5 years of friendship gone. Never, like literally one of my best friends.
Have you talked to her since?
No, fuck her.
That's so
no,
crazy.
fuck her, and I still mean it. So she's gone. She's gone, and then I'm like panicking, and I'm like, fuck, I need to find a new roommate. And then I go on Craigslist, and I put just the picture of the apartment, and I go, I need a new roommate, and that's where Angie came.
I know, that's so
Angie
crazy.
found me on Craigslist. She signed her lease on Hormoz's birthday. Angie's one of my best friends. She was my roommate, like, from the story 12 years ago, and we're still really, really good friends. And I actually introduced her to my other friend who's a comedian while we were living in that apartment together, and they've been dating for 11 years now, and they're engaged. So it all turned out like so much better after she left, and that apartment became so fun.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
And that's the whole story of that.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the worst roommate you've ever had.
That's the worst roommate I've ever had. And she's
Wow.
still out here. We could creep on her socials maybe later.
Maybe later once the cameras are off.
Once the cameras are off,
We'll
we
do a
might
little
check.
investigation.
Yeah, we might check her out, sweetie.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
My crazy roommates don't even compare to that.
No.
No, I had this one girl though who in college got some hamsters, which I did not like, right? She would get wine drunk and she would let the hamsters run around the apartment in those ball things.
Yeah.
So I'd be in the living room and there'd just be a ball moving around. It would be
I would have loved that.
and she'd get wasted. She'd be like, "Where are my bitches?" She would call her hamsters her bitches.
I love this roommate.
No,
This sounds like the best roommate experience. It reminds me of Indian in the Cupboard. Remember the brother had the hamster in that thing?
Kind of. Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated it.
That's your worst experience?
Yeah.
Your
no,
worst experience would have been my best.
No, I live with 3 girls.
That's a lot.
And it was a lot. It was a lot. There was always dishes in the sink. And there was this one guy. Okay. One of my roommates was like kind of trad wifey. Like she was acting like we were in her family home, like with her boyfriend. It was like a bit much.
Like you were interrupting their marriage.
Like I'm like, what's happening? Right? I'm like, okay, can I be in the kitchen? Right? She's like making shrimp scampi and like all this stuff in the kitchen. And then my other roommate, she had this gross boyfriend, and they would just be holed up. They would be in her room all the time. They would smell like sweat and like sex, and they were like dirty, right? Like the dirtiest people ever. Like even just the thought
they smelled like sex?
Yeah, like I could gag thinking about living with them.
Ew,
I forgot about
dude.
this. So that she comes into the kitchen with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend sees that the trad wife is cooking for her boyfriend. So then that boyfriend goes, "Danielle, take notes. Take notes. This is what I want." It was like this whole fucking thing. It was awkward as hell.
And they both had their boyfriends in there?
Yeah. And I would go to my boyfriend's house. He lived in a fraternity, so I was doing my own thing there, which was also disgusting.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad I'm out of the roommate thing. I hate living with, even if I get along, I don't like living with a roommate. Like, even if it's the best roommate ever, it sucks. Because
you have to consider them.
I just lived with my sister, and she was great and fun, and we had a great time. And I still was like, I don't want to live with anyone that's not inside of me.
And that's where Chuck comes in.
I'm sorry. I don't want to have to come home and go like, how was your day? Was this thing good? I just don't want to do it.
Well, sometimes you're just in a bad mood and you want to just disassociate.
And I want to take it out on Chuck like a real woman. Yeah, I don't want to fucking pretend I'm in a good mood.
I get that.
And I could just be in whatever mood when I come in here with him, and I can leave the dishes.
It is nice being at an age where you don't need a roommate.
Yes.
After years of having a roommate, it hits different.
It's freeing.
Because you come home and all of a sudden their bad mood's your bad mood now.
Yeah. And there's little things about having a roommate that like are inevitable. Like I kind of wanted to explain this to my sister when she moved in, but it sounded like too know-it-all-y, but I was like, forget it. Like when you live with a roommate, if you're cleaning and you have this frustration like, I'm the only one that cleans around here, sometimes both of you are cleaning and leaving messes and you're both thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like that happens a lot with roommates where you're like, I'm the only one cleaning around here. And it's like, you actually have no idea that I did your dishes. I just wasn't like, I did your dishes. You know what I mean? Like for my sister, I'd do her stuff all the time and she wouldn't know because I wouldn't be like, I did this, by the way. And then you think no one's doing anything because they're not giving themselves the credit. That would happen a lot in roommate situations. Even like my best roommates, I'd be like, do you know I did this, right? And I'd be like, or they'd be like, we need to start cleaning. And I go, you know I mop every week, just you're just not home.
Yeah.
It's like little things where it's like if you're not saying it, they don't know you're doing it. So if you're living with a roommate right now and you're a little frustrated, just think maybe they are doing something and you're just not seeing it and you both are collaborating on a mess together that seems like it's only one person.
Can I tell you what my mom did when I lived with her? What? She's the sweetest angel, but this was the most annoying thing she ever did.
What?
She would leave Post-it notes. Like passive-aggressive Post-it notes everywhere.
Oh, shit. Like what?
Where's my hairbrush? Stuff like that.
It'd be like, just ask me.
It'd be like the first thing I see when I woke up. It's like, yeah, just ask me.
Yeah.
Why are you putting Post-its everywhere?
But it must be so annoying to be a mom and have your daughter take everything because I would take I still do. When I leave my mom's house, she has to like check me like I'm a thief.
Yeah,
she has to be like, let
too.
me see your hands. And she's
Yeah.
like, that's my bracelet. I'm like, yeah, then why do you have it? It's so cool. It's not for a mom. It's for me.
Yeah, no, my mom, well, I used to always, and sometimes I still do, she'd hear me like in the garage and she'd pop her head out because that's where she has extra stuff. And I'd be taking toilet paper and water bottles. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, she's like, are you shopping in my garage again? I was like, yes, the shit's expensive, dude.
Yeah.
It adds up.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to take from your mom. That's what they're there for.
That's the lesson.
And that's the pod. That's the potty.
That's the potty.
Ew.
I don't like that
Me
at all.
neither. I take that back. That's the podcast. Shank, where can people find you?
Ew. At Princess Shank. You can find me here every Monday on This Bitch, every Wednesday on Shank. Show dates at Princess Shank on Instagram. Yeah. And patreon.com/Sara Weinshenk for bonus content. What about you?
KimCongdon.com for show dates, patreon.com/Kim Congdon, Magic Prank Show on Netflix, Childless MILF on YouTube. We are coming to DC Comedy Loft November 14th through 17th. Make sure you get tickets for that. We're really excited to be in DC. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, Kim Congdon Takeover. Did you plug that?
Kim Congdon Takeover. Thank you so much.
See you next week.
Bye.
Welcome to This Bitch with Sara Weinshenk and Kim Congdon.